Welcome to Smashville. This is PK Subban.
I'm Dan Hamhuis.
This is Craig Smith.
This is Mike Fisher.
But you need to dig in right now, every guy.
Everybody loves their soldiers until they come home and stop fighting.
Enough is enough.
They need me to bleed, and I'll bleed for my team.
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
This is Ryan Johansson. Welcome to Smashville.
This is Philip Forsberg.
I'm Victor Arvidsson.
I'm Ryan Ellis.
I'm Matthias Ekholm.
I'm Beckerin, and you're listening to the Renegades of Puck with Crazy Charlie.
Crazy Charlie puts words in my mouth. You can't trust that guy.
If you can't get some fire, some passion, some energy, and figure out how in the hell to talk about this magnificent sport of hockey that has taken over the city of Nashville, then why are you on the radio? You don't deserve it, and you should do the honorable thing and turn your mic in. You're making a damn fool of yourself.
This is my declaration. I'm coming after every single one of you. The lazy, the tired, the boring voices out there. Your time is up. I'm Crazy Charlie Saunier.
I'm Pete Weber of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Find a way, boys. No more half-stepping.
Now, here's your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started with it, I'll have some hockey coverage. First, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're getting educated about the show, you can click on that merchandise tab. Going to take you straight to our classic logo tee and all of the gimmicks you come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck. Socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, all still available right there in our online store. The best way to say it is that we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this independent and unaffiliated operation, so here's how you can jump in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. Please, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also find us on Threads and X, so whatever it is that you prefer as far as social media is, just go ahead and help us out there. It doesn't cost you a thing. It doesn't take you but a second, but it sure goes a long way to helping out the Renegades of Puck. YouTube, that is where you can find the podcast and all of our other content, so please subscribe to the channel and get more Renegades to do that as well. Turn on those notifications if you don't mind and catch the latest content from the Renegades of Puck. We are always up to something over there on our YouTube page. We would appreciate it if you would join us over there and help us out with that content. Swear jar / virtual tip jar over there on the desk. We are up to something. Yes, that's right. The Renegades of Puck are up to something yet again. We are constructing something. We are building a new future here in 2025. And until we can unveil some details, we won't be able to show you anything until we really get started on the construction. So if you don't mind, make a donation, make a contribution, help us out in building our future here at the Bunker with the Renegades of Puck. Or go to Venmo and just search out Renegades of Puck, do it the long form way, or scan the QR code that's over there on the virtual tip jar. Now listen, I know it is time for the No Half Step and Hockey coverage. It's been a long weekend. It's been a cold weekend. It's been a rainy weekend, but there's also been a lot of good hockey from your Nashville person. That's not a whole lot we've been able to say this season, so let's enjoy this moment. Let's get to the goods. Let's get to the No Half Step and Hockey coverage. Time to deliver the goods. It's operation number 951. That's right. Time for show number 951. And at this moment in hockey history, well, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 7th place in the Central Division after 40 games skated this season. They have an overall record of 30-20-7. 33 points, has them 23 points behind the first place Winnipeg Jets, who just happen to be the Nashville Predators' next opponent. That game will take place in Winnipeg. The Nashville Predators on the season have a road record of 5-13-4. Yes, that sounds different because it's gone from 3 to 4 to 5 in the last 2 games. The Predators on a 2-game road winning streak now. Still abysmal, but no longer the least amount of road wins in the Central Division. 98 goals for on the season, 123 goals against. That's a goal differential of -25. For the Predators, the week ahead, this is the 6th and final game on this road trip, so the Predators actually catch a break after this Tuesday night game until Saturday, when they will be home at Bridgestone Arena, face off against the Washington Capitals. First game of 2025 at Bridgestone Arena. The 14th of January will see the Predators face off against the Vegas Golden Knights at Bridgestone Arena. The 16th sees the Blackhawks come to Nashville. The 18th has the Minnesota Wild here in town. And the 21st of January has the San Jose Sharks in Nashville for the first time this season. Now, the regular season series between the Winnipeg Jets and the Nashville Predators, well, it's net number 3 out of 4. So we've completed 2 already. We take you back to November the 23rd when the Nashville Predators had their early season signature win. It was a 4-1 win over the Winnipeg Jets. I know the Jets were coming in on the second night of back-to-backs, but an advantageous scheduling situation led to the Predators having one of their only really good wins of the first part of the season. Saros went 23 out of 24, picked up the victory. Yossi had 2 goals in that game. Stamkos and Marchessault chipped in with goals. Comrie, 32 at 35, took the loss, and it was Lowry picking up the only goal for the Winnipeg Jets in that game. Then we go to December the 30th, and this was the first night of back-to-backs for the Nashville Predators, but that was not an advantageous scheduling situation for them because they fell 3-0 in Winnipeg on December the 30th. It was Saros, 25 out of 28, giving up 3 goals against, taking the loss. Hellebuck picked up the victory, and I mean, he's done that versus almost everybody this season. Got the shutout with 22 saves. Velarde, 2. DeMello, 1. Those were your goal scorers for the Jets. These two teams will meet up one final time this regular season on February the 27th when Winnipeg makes its second trip of the season to Bridgestone Arena. So the regular season series right now stands at 1-1 with each team taking 2 points, and the score is even at 4 apiece. For the Nashville Predators, a couple of injury updates before we get into the Winnipeg Jets and this game matchup and numbers. Tommy Novak, day-to-day. Adam Wilsby, day-to-day. Jeremy Lauzon, also day-to-day. Cole Smith on injured reserve, still another 3 to 4 weeks before his anticipated return. Now, let's talk about the Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets currently find themselves in first place in the Central Division. They've skated in 41 games this season, so they are at the midway point already. 27 wins, 12 losses, 2 overtime losses. That equals out to 56 points. They have a 2-point lead over the Minnesota Wild, and they have a 7-point lead over the Dallas Stars in third place. That happens to also be over the Colorado Avalanche, who are in fourth place, each of those teams with 49 points. And then you'll find St. Louis with 42 and 5th, Utah with 41 points in 6th, the Preds at 33 and 7th, and Chicago 28 points in 8th. So back to the Winnipeg Jets, 56 points, has them tops of the Central Division, 23 points ahead of their next opponent, the Nashville Predators, on home ice. Very good record, 14-4-2, 147 goals for, 104 goals against. That's a goal differential of plus 43. Now, when it comes to the rankings between these two teams, actually, before we get into the rankings for this game, let's talk about the Winnipeg Jets' most recent stretch of 5 completed games. Take us back to December the 28th. There was a 4-2 win versus Ottawa. On the 30th of December, a 3-0 win versus the Nashville Predators. On the 31st, the next night, they followed up with a 5-2 loss at the Colorado Avalanche. On the 2nd of January, a 4-3 overtime loss versus Anaheim. And on the 4th of January, a 4-2 loss versus Detroit. Hellebuck taking the loss, one of his very few on the season. 25 out of 28 was a stat line. Now let's get into the NHL rankings between these two teams for this particular matchup at this moment in time. Goals for, well, the Nashville Predators are doing better, but they're still finding themselves 32nd overall in the NHL, only 2.45 goals per game. 3.59 for Winnipeg is quite a different story. It's 3rd overall in the NHL in the goals against category. 2.54 for the Winnipeg Jets is 3rd best in the NHL. 3.08 for Nashville is 18th in the league. In the shots for category, 29.1 on net per game is 12th best in the league for Nashville. 28.2 for Winnipeg is 18th overall. In the shots against category, 29.2 for the Jets is 23rd. While the Predators find themselves giving up 29.7 shots against per game. That's 27th overall in the NHL. Special teams scenarios right here, it is polar opposites, as the penalty kill and the power play are quite opposite for both of these teams. The Preds power play conversion rate, 19.8%, 20th in the league, 22 conversions on 111 opportunities, but the Winnipeg Jets, 31.5% power play conversion rate. First overall in the NHL, 39 conversions, 124 opportunities. Now, the Predators' penalty kill unit, though, is easily one of the best in the league. As a matter of fact, they're the 3rd best currently, 84.7% kill rate. They've given up 19 power play goals against the season. They are rated 3rd overall. The Jets' penalty kill, 77.6% kill rate, is 22nd. They have given up 24 power play goals against on the season. When it comes to the individual statistics and team leaders for each of these teams, it is pretty damn impressive to see what several of these Winnipeg Jets players are doing so far this season. Connor, 22 goals, 30 assists, 52 total points at the midpoint of the season. Scheifele actually with more goals than Connor with 23 plus 23 assists for 46 points. Morrissey's at 4 goals and 33 assists for 37 points. Velarde's at 18 and 18 for 36. And Ehlers 12 and 21 21 for 33. Over on the Nashville Predators side of things, Philip Forsberg's 9 goals and 24 assists for 33 total points. That leads the Preds. Marchessault's at 14 and 15 for 29. Stamkos, 12 goals, 13 assists, 25 points. O'Reilly, 12 and 13 for 25. And the captain, Roman Josi, 7 goals and 18 assists for 25 total points, falling all the way now to 5th on the team in scoring. Anticipated goaltending matchup, and it is a doozy right here. Hellebuck, 24-6-2, 209 goals against, 926 save percentage with 5 shutouts, easily having one of the best seasons of any goaltender in the NHL. UC Saros, record-wise, not great at 9-16-6, but his goals against average of 2.72, his save percentage of 906, and especially the 4 shutouts. 4 shutouts on 9 victories this season is highly impressive. Saros versus Hellebuck is always a classic matchup when it comes to these two teams. That's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators' final stop of this road trip. Now listen, 2-3 on the road trip. One of the toughest places they're going to have to go is in Winnipeg. If they find a way to win this game in Winnipeg, they go 3-3 on the road trip. They break even as far as points, and they equal the amount of road wins they had for the entirety of the season. Well, that would take place in the last 3 road games of this road trip since they lost the first 3. All right, that's going to do it for the preview section. Let's get to going back and talking about what happened in the last game in Calgary. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. It's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. We were all the way back January 4th, the year 2025, when the Nashville Predators were in Calgary to face off against the Flames. Head coach Andrew Burnett deploys his lines and defensemen in the following combination: Forsberg, Stamkos, and Marchessault, Nyquist, O'Reilly, Heines, Stroza, Jankowski, Svechkov, Evangelista, Weisblatt, McCarron, and Sissons. Your defensive pairings are Josi and Barron, Shea and Blankenberg, Stastny and Shen, and Justus Annunen gets the start in net for the Nashville Predators. We are 54 seconds into the game when Annunen comes up with his first save on Sharon Govich. That's the first shot on goal of the game. 134, another save on ball at the 2:01 mark of the first period. It's Wolf coming with a save on Stastny's heavy shot. That's the first Predators shot of the game. 4:07 of the first period. Annunen back to work, coming with a save on Huberdeau's redirect at the slot. Good save right here, tracking that deflection. 6:53 now at the first. Annunen comes up with a save on Peltier. 9:40 of the first. Annunen a save on Pahal. 14 minutes now into the first period. Annunen continuing to do the work, coming with a save on Lundberg. And at 14:10 the first period, we find our first special team scenario. Svechkov off to the box, 2 minutes for hooking. Kuzmenko hits the post, and a lot of mayhem ensues in the crease area after that. Annunen able to survive. Annunen then comes up with a save on Kadri before the end of the power play. Preds PK also measuring up to the task here. 16:46 now the first period. It's Wolf coming up with the save on Marchessault. Second shot on goal for the Nashville Predators. That's right, the 16:46 mark of the first period is when the Predators finally get their second shot. 17:38 of the first period. Annunen coming up with a save on Bean. 17:41. Marchessault's off the box. 2 minutes for slashing Flames back on the power play. Annunen back to work. A save on Coleman's deflection. Right there at close range. We hit the end of the first period. The Calgary Flames out shooting the Nashville Predators by a total of 11-3. No score on the board, but the Preds do look like on the second night of back-to-backs like they are really suffering an energy outage here in the first 20 minutes. We are 1 minute into the second period, and it's Wolf coming up with a save on Marchessault. So the Predators at least getting a shot on goal much quicker in the second period. Now they have 4 total shots on goal. 2:37 of the second period. Sometimes I got to make myself laugh. 2:37 now. Annunen comes up with a save on Sharon Govich. 2:46 of the second period. It's Kuzmenko off the box. 2 minutes for slashing on Svechkov. O'Reilly picks up his 10th goal of the season, breaking through for the Nashville Predators. It was a one-time backhand in the low slot off of Svechkov's feed. Again, a one-time backhand, not something you usually see, but those guys with that net front presence, the jam in those hands, sometimes they do it in unconventional ways, and O'Reilly's 10th goal of the season puts the Preds ahead on the power play 1-0. 5:57 now the second period. Annunen coming up with a save on Coleman at the 9:03 mark of the second period. It's Shen off the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking. We find the Calgary Flames on the power play yet again, but Kuzmenko is going to pick up a penalty. 2 minutes for playing with a broken stick. Now, let me explain for just just a second. This wasn't as simple as his stick broke and he continued handling the puck. He was holding the broken stick in one hand and he kicked the puck with his skate trying to keep it in. Regardless of how it happened, he was still holding a broken stick when he played the puck. Therefore, by definition, that is a penalty. It was weird. That creates a 4-on-4 scenario for 1 minute, and Noonan comes up with a save on Huberdeau, point blank, all alone after the D turns it over on the half wall. It is the Predators' netminder hung out to dry, and then Wolf comes up with a save on Yossi's strong drive to the net going the other way immediately. This is like the captain, Roman Yossi, was trying to prove a point on that rush. We hit the Predators' power play for 1 minute. Wolf comes up with a save on Marchessault plus his follow-up rebound jam, and then O'Reilly gets his 11th goal of the season, second of the period, second power play goal of the game. Marchessault passes, rebound to O'Reilly at the side of the net. It was perfect. So Forsberg takes the initial shot. Marchessault pulls the rebound, and instead of shooting it, sends it over to the side of the net perfectly for O'Reilly to finish the play. The Predators have a 2-0 lead with 2 power play goals, both by Ryan O'Reilly. 13-9 in the second period. Now it's Jankowski and Peltier off the box, 2 minutes each, creating a 4-on-4. Noonan comes up with a save on Anderson. Wolf comes up with a save on Evangelista. That would do it for that 4-on-4 scenario. Return to 5-on-5 hockey. We find ourselves at 17:01 with Wolf coming up with a save on Brady Shea. And at 18:20, Backlund picks up his 8th goal of the season. It was a terrible turnover by the defense. Heavy influence around the crease by the Calgary Flames puts them on the board for the first time. The Predators do still hold a 2-1 lead, though, going into the second intermission. Calgary out shooting Nashville 21-17 over the course of the first 40 minutes. So the Predators picked up 14 shots on goal in the second period. Of course, 2 goals, and looked like a much different team. You would say they were playing rope-a-dope, second night of back-to-backs. I don't think that's what was going on. I think it just took them a while to get moving. 22 seconds now into the third period. So Noonan coming with a save on Huberdeau's breakaway. That's right. 2 starts the third period. It's a breakaway, and the Nashville Predators backup netminder is turning it aside. 50 seconds later, coming up with a save on Backlund, plus the follow-up by Granato's wraparound attempt. 1:31 now of the third. It's Wolf coming up with a save on Jankowski's deflection. 3:42 of the third. It's Noonan coming with a save on Rooney. 4:09 of the third. It's Wolf coming with a save on Luke Evangelista, and we hit to the back of the sheet, and we found ourselves at 6:48 of the third period, where Noonan's coming up with a save on Sharon Govich. 7:03. Noonan comes up with a save on Uyghur's wraparound attempt, and at 9:16 of the third period, it is Marchessault versus Coronado off to the box. 5 minutes each. A scrap by the Nashville Predators power forward. It was a decent one at that. The Predators fired up. 3 seconds later, 9:19 in the third period, Svechkov scores with his 3rd goal of the season. It was a backhand at the side of the crease after a face-off win by Jankowski. Predators have a 3-1 lead, and Svechkov pulling the Ovechkin move, even admitting to seeing that goal earlier in the day and duplicating it here for the Nashville Predators. Svechkov seems to be coming out of his shell very, very nicely on his most recent recall. Predators lead 3-1. We hit the 10:59 mark of the third period. Noonan comes up with a save on Kadri. 12:28. Noonan comes up with a save on Kuzmenko. 13:35 of the third period. Wolf comes up with a save on O'Reilly at 14:35. And Noonan a save on Kadri. 17:22. And Noonan a save on Uyghur. The 18:32 mark of the third period. It's O'Reilly with his 12th goal of the season, his 3rd of the game, into the empty net. Steven Stamkos, what a pro, what a great teammate. Gets the puck, holds, delays, waits for O'Reilly to find himself in a shooting position, sends it over to O'Reilly for O'Reilly to finish the hat trick. On the road, the Nashville Predators lead 4-1. That would be your final. So O'Reilly scores 3 of the 4 Predators goals, 2 of them coming on the power play, 1 of them into the empty net, and it does not matter because the Predators are on a road winning streak for the first time this season. 2 wins in a row on the road. Calgary outshoots the Nashville Predators in total for this game, 32-28, but considering the Predators started with 3 shots on goal in the first 20 minutes, and they had 25 combined in the second and third period, and they won the game 4-1, I'll take that. It was a tough first period. The Preds seemed like they might just run out of gas and just simply fall over, but after the first intermission, they were able to get their legs under them a little bit, get themselves going, and will themselves into a victory here in Calgary. It was the first victory over the Flames this season out of 3 meetings, so the Predators, at just the most important time when they really, really needed a couple of wins in a row on the road, they find a way back-to-back, less than 24 hours to do it. It was improbable. They got their asses handed to them physically in Vancouver, but found a way to win. In this game, they got great goaltending from their backup netminder and a premier signature game from Ryan O'Reilly. O'Reilly, ever since coming back from the injury, something about his game has just been different in a very good way. Perhaps he just needed some time off. For a guy who never takes any time off, having a few games off there, maybe it rejuvenated him in all the right and best ways, because so far, since coming back from that, he's a totally different player. Listen, I'm getting into the analysis portion of things. Let's take a quick break right here. That was the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. We've got analysis, box score, more coming up on the other side of this.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in. That was the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. Now, let's get into some analysis of things, and let's start with the netminder for the Nashville Predators. Jussi Sununen, 31 of 32. He gave up one goal against this game. Just an absolutely outstanding performance from the backup netminder of the Nashville Predators. And I told you he was going to push Juuse Saros in competitive, positive ways. This is an outstanding development for the Nashville Predators that they went out and fixed the goaltending situation, because after Juuse Saros at the beginning of this season, frankly, the cupboard wasn't impressive, and now I think Jussi Sununen is really a special prospect and a solid backup right now. A .930 save percentage so far this season for Noonan, 2.28 goals against average, and in this game, breakaways, and not just breakaways against star players. Huberdeau bearing down with all of his skill and power, stopped by Noonan. Deflections, traffic, mayhem, even getting plowed on a disallowed goal at one point in this game. Impressive stuff from the netminder of the Nashville Predators. Also, very impressed with Ryan O'Reilly since he's come back from the injury. There was something before he took some time off. You knew the injury had to be something that built up and something bad for O'Reilly to finally take a couple of games off. But since coming back, he seems healthy, rejuvenated, and now 3 goals in this game. He's got 12 on the season, so a quarter of his goal production for the entire season happened last night in a very important victory in Calgary against the Flames. 6 shots on goal as well, 16:51 total time on ice, and it's an inspiring effort to watch how O'Reilly goes about it. He goes to the hardest of hard areas. He works incredibly hard each and every shift out there. He never takes a moment off, and he's very much the player that the youth of the organization should look to, and we've heard plenty of stories about how LaRue basically follows O'Reilly around trying to learn more and more about being a professional. This was great, and it was awesome to see the respect Stamkos has for O'Reilly already. They've only been teammates since the beginning of the season, but of course they've both been in the league a very long time, and they've played against each other numerous times, and to see Stamkos holding that puck and waiting, knowing the situation and the circumstance, getting it over to O'Reilly for the empty net goal, that's some pretty impressive stuff. And you know what? It goes a long way to building chemistry for the second half of the season. So great to see that out there. O'Reilly with the hat trick in this game, and very, very well deserved. Got the first 2 goals by going to the hardest of the hard areas and got rewarded at the end with the empty netter. Good job. Svechkov picks up a goal and assist. Also comes out of his shell after the game in an interview that was actually, for the first time, we saw some character out of Svechkov. He seemed more comfortable, and again, picks up a goal, picks up an assist. In his interview, he admits to seeing Ovechkin score the same exact goal earlier in the day. Of course, different side of the net, different hand. You understand. But same exact goal. So Svechkov copies Ovechkin after watching him on TV in the afternoon in the night game, and then puts up 2 points, gets 2 shots on goal, 14:31 total time on ice, and really excited about him. I was excited the first time he came up, but this is somewhat of the growing process that we always go through with players. They are great prospects at the AHL level. They come up. They're not quite get put in the right situation or circumstance. They don't quite deliver the goods. The second time they come up, though, is typically when they start to come out of their shell with both their skill set and their personality. We're starting to see a little bit more personality from the team. Ozzy Weisblatt, Svechkov, Stamkos in the locker room starting to show a little more personality. It's been enjoyable these last two nights to see what the Nashville Predators can accomplish when they get things going in the right direction. So Svechkov is your other goal scorer. That makes up the 4 goals for the Preds. Forsberg, 2 assists, 24 on the season. He leads the team. He's a world-class distributor. I mean, holy shit. I did not think Philip Forsberg was going to become a world-class distribution service just because, frankly, he's a goal scorer. He's a selfish goal scorer. He's a good goal scorer. And we'll have to see what happens when February comes around here in a couple of weeks. But Philip Forsberg has, I think, decided he really likes his line mates and that his line mates are great at going to the hard areas and finishing. And Philip Forsberg is finding a new place in his game to pass and to send the puck over to Stamkos and Marchessault a whole lot more because both of them are shooters in every way. So is Philip Forsberg, but Philip Forsberg is obviously deferring to his more senior line mates that are out there. Marchessault picks up an assist, 4 shots on goal, 14:40 total time on ice. Also had a fight in this game. I absolutely loved it. Marchessault is a total hockey player. He's all hockey. He can skate. He can pass. He can shoot. He can score. He can fight. He can lead the way. He's reliable at the biggest moments of the game. I'm understanding now, 40 games in, what all of the hype has been about Jonathan Marchessault over the last couple of seasons with the Vegas Golden Knights. It has been a thing where you can't spend all of your time when you cover one team watching individual players or watching other teams too much. So I haven't really been able to tune into the Vegas Golden Knights other than around when they're playing the Predators. So Marchessault, I've not really been exposed to the total experience known as Jonathan Marchessault. But after this fight, after seeing how hard he goes game in, game out, shift in, shift out, when the team is in the shits, when the team is playing well, makes no difference. He goes hard. Love watching this guy. Should probably be a captain, but there's already a long-established captain on this Nashville Predators team. So Marchessault right there. And the team effort. Let's talk about the second and third period. They pulled themselves up after the first. That first period was hard to watch. The team looked like they were on low batteries. It looked like the lights were blinking. They were running out of gas, and it was a wonder if they were going to make it to the exit to get themselves refueled. Well, once they hit the first intermission, they came out in the second period. They were a totally different team. They seemed to have more energy. They seemed to have more life. They had the skates under them. And as a team, they pulled themselves up. At first 20 minutes, and Noonan kept the minute, and the Preds could have hung it up. They got the win in Vancouver the night before. You know, what do you expect? The Preds are only a 7th-place team. They're not that great. They really pulled themselves up in this game, and it's great to see. Second and third period played extremely hard. The penalty kill unit was extremely hard out there, and it was the power play unit that got them the victory in this game. So the Predators really pulled themselves up after the first 20 minutes and played a pretty fabulous last 40 minutes of this game. The Calgary Flames, they're not the greatest team in the world, but they are capable. Every team in this league nowadays is fully capable. And if you had screwed around with the Flames, or if Noonan hadn't been on his game last night, well, then the Flames would have won this game by a score of 4-1. Easily. But Ryan O'Reilly willed it in the second and the third period, and the rest of his Predators teammates followed along. All right, that's going to do it for the analysis portion of things. Let's hear from our good friends at Stripe Digital Solutions. Let's come back. Let's burn through the box score. Let's close this episode out. Let's get everybody started for a brand new week here in Smashville. We'll do that next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in. The easy box score right here. Ryan O'Reilly scored 3 goals for the Nashville Predators. Svechkov put the fourth one in on the side of things. It was Philip Forsberg with 2. Marchessault had 1. Colton Sisson, Steven Stamkos, Fedor Svechkov, all with 1 assist. No points on the defensive side of things. We've seen this recently also for the Nashville Predators. And when it comes to shots on goal, 6 for Ryan O'Reilly paces away. Marchessault had 4. Philip Forsberg had 3 of the defensemen. 2 was the highest number, and that was Roman Josi and also Spencer Stastny. In the block shots category, 4 led the way by Luke Shannon, and 3 was the magic number after that. Josi, Blankenberg, and Barron, all 3. McCarron and Jankowski also with 3. When it comes to penalty minutes, I circled it just because I wanted to. Marchessault, because I felt like his 5 penalty minutes, that fight, it inspired a goal 3 seconds later. It got the team fired up, and they were still talking about it after the game, so I circled penalty minutes leader for the game, Jonathan Marchessault. The total experience, I'm trying to brainstorm it right here. I'm workshopping it as we go. Maybe I should just write some words down and get back to the script. But the total hockey experience, Jonathan Marchessault with 7 penalty minutes. And comes to hits, 2 was the high for the Preds. That was by Luke Shannon, Justin Barron, also Ozzy Weisblatt, and Michael McCarron with 2 hits. Time on ice leaders, 16:51 for Ryan O'Reilly, 15:50 for Gus Nyquist, 15:39 for Colton Sissons. A great job by the coaching staff on the second night of back-to-backs where the team was pushed around physically quite a bit the night before in Vancouver. On the defensive side of things, Roman Josi at 23:15 to lead the team in total time on ice, 21:51 for Brady Shea. Power play time on ice, and the power play unit 2 for 2 in this game. Ryan O'Reilly with both of those goals. Ryan O'Reilly only had 40 seconds of power play time, but damn, he made use of it. 2:04 for Marchessault, 1:53 for Forsberg, 1:47 for Steven Stamkos, and 2:04 for Roman Josi. The penalty kill unit was exceptional, tested hard, especially in the third period. 3 for 3 in this game. They were perfect, back to 3rd overall in the league. The time on ice leaders on the penalty kill were 3:09 for Colton Sissons, 2:20 for Gus Nyquist, 1:50 for Ryan O'Reilly, 1:37 for Colton Sissons, 3:36 for Blankenberg, 3:34 for Brady Shea, and 1:27 for Spencer Stastny. Your netminder was Justus Noonan. He comes up with 31 saves on 32 shots against, 1 goal against, an in-game save percentage of .969, 27 even strength saves, 3 power play saves, 1 shorthanded saves, and again, just simply outstanding. Second night of back-to-backs. The team didn't have their legs under them in the first period, and Noonan was there to respond to every single one of those Calgary Flames. 11 shots in that first period. All right, listen, a couple of the numbers falling out of the box score, and let's move on with the evening. 2 for 2 on the power play, 3 for 3 on the penalty kill, 47.1% on the faceoff winning percentage for Preds. Here's a number that jumps off the page at you that shows what the Predators had to do to come away with this victory. 30 blocked shots, 30 total blocked shots in this one. 11 hits, 5 takeaways, 18 giveaways. Again, second night of back-to-backs is always going to be a little bit sloppier, and the Preds were a little bit slow to get into this game, so the physical component never really came around. But damn it, were they willing to sacrifice, and they were willing to play hard and play with a lot of heart and pull themselves up in the second and third period. And really, that's all you can say about it. I mean, let's close out the box score right there, and let's go back-to-back road wins for the first time this season. A winning streak on the road for the first time this season. Winnipeg is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to go out there and seize. Winning that game, winning the 6th game of the road trip, would mean a 3-3 split. Starting the road trip 0-3, if you finish the road trip 3-3, that is a highly damn impressive thing considering you went to Vancouver, Calgary, and then Winnipeg to pick up those 3 victories. That would also equal the amount of victories you had on the road in total before this road trip started for the entirety of the season. So you could close out the first half of the season with a 3-game road winning streak, which would improve or double the number of wins you had throughout the regular season on the road up to this point, and it would be your 2nd victory against the Winnipeg Jets this season. It is a big tilt in the Central Division. It's a big night for the Nashville Predators. The 2 out of 3 thing has kind of gotten a little out of whack, but still at the end of this road trip, if you win this game in Winnipeg, that's the 50-50 split that I was asking for before the road trip. How can you expect a team to go on a road trip that only has 3 road wins the entire season and do more than 50-50 on a 6 game? That after the homestand they had, you win this game in Winnipeg, you have another nice homestand coming up where you can start to add up some points. The Predators are in a position right now to begin the year 2025. If they're ever going to make a maneuver in any way in a positive direction, it's going to have to start right now, this game in Winnipeg. You're on a 2-game road winning streak for the first time and a couple extra days off at the end of the road trip. It'd feel real good to be able to come in here and talk about a 3-3 road trip where the Preds picked up half the points, and one of those wins was the last one of the road trip in Winnipeg. Let's do it for Operation number 951. I hope you're enjoying the new intro, the new graphics. We are slowly rolling out and implementing a whole bunch of new things to the show. Some of it's going to feel old. Some of it's going to feel like the old gaudy intro eras, the old over-the-top egotistical radio era. We're bringing it all back. We're past episode number 950 now, and we are vastly and quickly approaching episode number 1000. We will celebrate the work we've done here, and we will have a good time bringing you those presentations. So we'll roll it out. We'll put together little packages. We did the Behind Enemy Lines piece the other day. We added the new intro. We're going to add some new Spartan stuff coming up once they get back on the ice here, coming up here on the home portion of the schedule in a couple of weekends. So we've got a lot of stuff coming out. We've also got some analyst guests, and we're building a new set. You're going to want to stick with me for this because inspiration has finally hit again. Operation 951 in the books. Let's call it a night right here. Stay dry. Stay ready, Renegades. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, respect.